Hi you guys, welcome back. It is Wednesday and I am finally getting to film this video. There's a lot of stuff going on in the house around me right now. I have a puppy that's panting at my feet and I need to go make dinner for the kids in just a little bit. They're outside playing and there's some people taking naps and stuff going on. So I thought I would sit down and answer some questions really quick for you guys. I actually didn't put out a call for new questions this time around because I did that pretty recently and I had so many questions already that I thought it wasn't necessary to ask for more. But right now this is kind of just random stuff. I really want to answer as many as I can, but I also don't want this to be like a mile-long video. So I'm going to go ahead and just start. The first one that I'm seeing is, how the heck do you get your hair to curl and stay? And this is from a Orsum227. What I like to do right after I get out of the shower is I add a lot of different textures and things like that to my hair. I'll add dry shampoo by Batiste, is my favorite brand. I will add the Kenra dry texture spray, which I really love. It smells really good too. And I will often use the L'Oreal Boost It. They're all kind of the same thing. I just will hold them away and kind of spray them on my roots and work them into my hair a little bit. And that helps like every hairstyle stay a lot longer because my hair is not silky by any means, but it is heavy and it just will fall out a lot faster if I don't have texture in there. So it's easy to kind of add homemade texture by using those sprays. Next one, somebody asks if I use a curling iron or a wand, and while I have like 25 different hot tools that are great, my favorite is definitely a wand. Okay, the next question is from Alex London. She says, how do you keep your cool if all of your sweet babies need you at the same time, crying and whatnot? I have two babies 22 months apart, and I feel like I lose my cool a lot, especially with the not listening coming from the 2-year-old in the terrible 2 stage. So my thing is that there have been very few times when all of them are crying at once, but when that happens, even if there's a few crying, I always start with the youngest first because the older ones understand that I have to take care of them first. And so if the baby's crying, I will just say, Ellie, you have to wait a minute, or I guess if there's pain or bleeding, take care of the bleeding child first. But essentially I start from youngest to oldest and work my way up and try to just solve their problems one at a time. And like usually if somebody got in a fight, the older one is more responsible, and so I will try to sort it out, but I will take care of the younger one and have them stop crying first and then work my way up. It's certainly never, there's a lot of fighting still in my house and a lot of chaos, and there's often fights and dog piles and things like that kind of go horribly wrong, and people are bashing heads and stuff, and then like there's all this crying, and if it's like a particularly high anxiety day for me or something, I will try to just take deep breaths and I will explain to the kids. I'll say, Ellie, or Sophia, I'll say, I don't feel well right now, and I'm sorry if I'm yelling or if I'm mad. I'm not mad at you. And I'll kind of explain it, and they're like, okay, because I don't want to be like, everyone sit down and have them be feeling badly like I'm angry at them, because it's not about that. It's just all the chaos. And so I actually talk the older kids through it, and they understand, and it works out great. Long explanation, but I hope that made sense. All right, the next question is from McCarthy Jenna, and she says, photo editing and general photography tips. Also, have you ever done the Whole30? Yes, I did do Whole30, and I enjoyed it. I really like eating whole foods. I felt really clean and kind of cleansed. I'm all for it. I think it's great as like a restart for your body. I think it's always a really fun thing to take a period of time, like a couple weeks or a few weeks or a month, and cut out red meat or sugar or really processed foods, things that are hard on your system. And so I did enjoy doing that. And also for photo editing, I like to use Lightroom, which is a really inexpensive tool by Adobe Photoshop or Adobe. And it's a really user-friendly tool, and I've had that now for a couple years, and it's really simple to batch edit your photos and to import them and export them, and it's really, I am not very good at that. I don't know how to use those programs, and so Lightroom was really nice for me just to be able to start out that way. And there's a lot of presets there that make your photos look great, and then you can kind of tweak them as you go. So it teaches, I learned a lot about shading and different things like that using Lightroom, so I would recommend that. Photography tips, I would just say always use natural light when you can. That's what I'm going to stick with for now. Nicole Nicole Yanni says, how do you keep white couches white? I swear with my gray couches and little hands, it's impossible in my life. You go girl, ice cream cone. The couches are from IKEA, and they are white leather. I forget the name. They're all like German names, I think, at the store. I actually took a couple love seats and took apart, you know how you can kind of like unscrew things, and I took off 2 armrests and put them together, so they're 10-foot sofas now. And actually they stay really clean because I clean them once a month. I have like leather, it's like a 3-part leather system. I found it on Amazon, and I'll clean it off because they do get kind of, I don't know, you can kind of see that they're kind of gray. They kind of get like a film on them, but mostly like Richard spilled a Pepsi and it just sat there, and I wiped it up, and then I got the cleaner and cleaned it up, and because they're leather like that, nothing soaks in, nothing stains. And so like Lydia brought in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and like jelly spilled on the couch, and like there's no food or pens or markers allowed in the living room, but I don't allow pens or markers in my house at all, actually. But Lydia did get pen on it once. She took a pen, a blue one, and she kind of drew on the armrest, and she drew along, like she just kind of walked along and drew. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I supposed to do? And so I Googled it, and my sister actually told me to use hairspray, and I was like, are you sure? Like that sounds really hokey. And I did, and it worked amazingly. I sprayed hairspray to kind of like get it to pool on there, and I scrubbed it with paper towels, and the pen came right off. So they're really easy to keep clean because, believe it or not, like again, like sticky fingers and stuff, I just go along with a wipe and wipe it right off, and again, nothing soaks in, so they're pretty easy to keep clean, actually. The next question is, what is your favorite recipe? Right now, I love quiche, and it's really basic. You know, it's just like eggs and spinach and bacon and kind of random stuff, whatever you want to throw in there. And so I took out a pre-made pie crust because I'm not super talented with pie crusts, and I just kind of threw some ingredients together that sounded good, and it came out and it was so good. And so I kept it in the fridge, and I kept like chiseling off chunks and eating it, and I want to make another one. That's my favorite recipe right now. Somebody asked, what is your favorite place to shop for home decor? I have to say IKEA, even though I've never actually been there, just because a lot of our new house is decorated with IKEA. I have drawers, dressers, couches, benches, lamps, plants, my makeup table. It's like a vanity. I just love that they have different things that kind of go with each different style, and I think that the pricing is great, and I think the quality is really great. That's my opinion, but I really love IKEA right now. The next one is, how do you potty train your kids? Age, time, and is it harder to potty train boys than girls? I heard that it was really hard to train boys over girls, but honestly, John was potty trained in less than a day. I decided to try and look up different books and things like that, but I thought it'll take me like 3 months to read this potty training book, and I just need to get started. And so I asked a couple of my friends for some tips on them, and I just decided to get started. I printed off like a little potty chart where I could put stickers on it, and I made sure it had like the cartoon character that was their favorite. And I'm like, every time you successfully go in the potty, you get a sticker, and every 5 stickers you get a treat. And they were like, hooray! And so you get the potty training pants, and we are actually right on the cusp of needing to potty train Lydia. I ended up doing mine around 3 years old. I had a friend who potty trained her daughter at 9 months, so it is possible if you are a magician, it's possible. I'm not. So 3 years old is about when my kids get potty trained, and it works out great. They're asking, like they're uncomfortable in their diaper, they're asking to use the toilet. So that's a really good time because they're really excited about it. And so as soon as you bring it up and you give them congratulations and you tell them, we always have like a dry pants party at the end, which is like an ice cream sundae party. And they're really excited, and both the girls did it in like under 2 days. Did it meaning taking themselves to the bathroom without me needing to remind them, and no accidents. So the girls both did it in like 2 to 3 days, and John did it in 1 day. Like after like 6 hours, he was walking off to go to the bathroom by himself, and I was like, John, like, and he would come running in and say, I did it, come look, and I'm like, all right. And so he did awesome. So if boys are harder, that's not how it worked with my family, but we'll see. I need to probably keep track of what happens with Lydia and pass that on if anybody cares about my potty training. Somebody says, what are your go-to me time activities? honestly, I really love to read, and it's relaxing and fun for me, and I really don't get the time or the quiet to read. And so if I had time, like, that's why I love the idea of airports and like waiting rooms, because if I can pull out a book and read, because that's to me is kind of like a selfish thing, and I just really have a hard time finding time for that. However, some of the hobbies that I love to do that I feel are less like selfish, and again, it's fine to do things that are selfish if you have time, way to go, but I just feel like I'm so busy. So I really loved when I started quilting, because I was making quilts for my family, and so it was a hobby, but it was also productive. And so finding stuff like that is good if you have a hard time like giving yourself me time or you time. I also love to play the piano. That's not productive at all, but it just relaxes me. I'm not super good at it, but again, it's just fun to do. And I really love cooking, actually, trying new recipes. And I had to change my battery, but I was saying that along with hobbies, that I really like cooking, and that trying new recipes and putting things together and then having like something come out and be really good is really rewarding. So most of my hobbies are like domestic things. Actually, folding laundry is kind of therapeutic too. Putting it away is where I come into really big problems, because there are stacks of like folded laundry all over, but like it takes a long time for me to put it away. So that was a little bit of a derailment. Okay, hold on, where did my questions go? Harpist 1997 says, Emily, you have been missed, and I've been praying for you and your family. Her question is, top 3 things on your bucket list. I'm going to be really dramatic for a second and just say that like when life got really busy and my priorities kind of got swapped, like anything that I had ever wanted to do was like washed out of my brain, just because I realized that I just wanted like I just wanted to be home with my family. I just wanted like a normal life. I wanted to just make, quiche, and I wanted to vacuum the floor, and I just wanted like things to be normal. And so I was looking around, like, because I wanted to know what kind of things that I had wanted to do. I know that I've always wanted to travel, and that's never like, I've never forgotten that. That's something that I just want to travel everywhere. Actually, there's nowhere that I've seen or heard of that I don't want to go. I would love to just travel all over. I want to see everywhere, and I wanted like different cultures and foods, and like I would love to do humanitarian trips, like service trips, and help build things and help if I really want to. Yeah, I just want to travel. travel and travel and travel. Does that count as 3, or is that just really lazy? Let's see. Somebody says, definitely hair care tips. So this needs to be like its own video, but I would say like hydration helps your hair. Vitamins are really important. I've seen a big difference with all of these things. So it's not like just some sort of speculation. This is stuff that I've started doing and seen a huge difference. Vitamins are huge, like a prenatal vitamin. Your body needs to be strong in order to produce strong hair. If you're weak and frail and sick, your hair is going to come out of your head sick, if that makes sense. So I try not to use heat on it too much. I use hot tools, and so I don't blow dry it. I feel like it's kind of a toss-up. I try to keep heat off of it as much as possible, but I also love to curl my hair. So I choose to use the heat from a curling iron, and I don't blow dry it. If you have like a cool blow dryer, I think that's fine, but also the air in general is kind of hard on your hair, like rushing air. Someone says, I need your cream of mushroom soup recipe again. That is still on my blog. I don't think I've ever taken the blog post down, so you can search that and it's still going to be on there. All right, someone says, this is, let's see, Chantel Opie, I think, Opie. What kind of discipline do you find works best for your children? Not that those beautiful angels ever misbehave. Oh dear, you are so nice. I better wrap this up really soon, but someone said, what kind of discipline do you find that works best for your children? Do you have any favorite parenting books or blogs that you go to for advice? So oh dear. I better go fix this. Okay, speaking of parenting, hopefully that's settled for a little bit. They are doing great out there, but this is kind of a bad time for me to be doing this, but I really need to stick to this goal. Okay, so the parenting books that I would suggest, Jo Frost, Super Nanny. She's a British, it's kind of an old show. Okay, This is ridiculous because I have crying babies now, so I really need to run. I stopped talking about parenting books, so I'm going to finish that really quick. Jo Frost, look her up on Amazon. Her parenting tactics to me are really smart and really well thought out, and they work really well. And I don't disagree with actually anything that I've read from her. I have a few of her books. Again, I looked at episodes of her show called Super Nanny that was from years back and watched some of the episodes. Like, she'll go into somebody's house that has crazy kids, and she'll kind of calm them down, and she'll teach the parents how to talk to the kids. And I love that. One of my favorite things that she does is that you never talk down to your child. You never raise your voice. I always get down on the kids' level, and I love that. And I've always tried to do that since before we had kids. Martin and I planned, how we were going to do things, and that was a huge thing to us, was never talking down at them and being intimidating or scary. Just getting down their level. Even if you're being stern or even if you're upset, just get down and explain things to them face to face. And another thing that I think is really important, I don't know if this came from her or not, but it's something else that I've tried to never ever do is to tell the kids that, never say you are, not that a lot of people say this to their kids, but you never say you're not smart or you're, being bad. I always just try to say, that thing you did was bad, and that choice you made was not smart. And I'll remind them over and over, are you a bad kid? And they'll say no. And I say, well, why did you make that bad choice? So it's never, I want them to never think in their heads that I'm bad. And if they ever say that, I correct them immediately. You are not a bad kid. That was the choice that you made. The choice you made was bad. And so I try to express that too, you are not a mean girl, Ellie. That was a mean choice. And I guess the last thing I want is them sitting in bed at night thinking mommy said I was mean, or somebody said I was mean, I'm mean. I never want them to have that sort of inner battle. So okay, yeah, I really gotta go. I hope that this was a little bit educational for you guys and learning a little bit more about me, and maybe some of you guys had the same questions. I'm not even sure how many I got through, probably only 8 to 10, but I really need to run. But I was determined to get a video out today, and I'm gonna have another one come in on Friday, and maybe I'll do more. If I can get these out and I have more stuff to do and I have time to do it, I might do more videos, because I feel like there's so much kind of backed up that I wanted to share. So thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully I'll be back here on Friday. So thank you guys so much too for the encouragement. You guys left awesome comments, made me feel really excited and encouraged, and I love that even after all the promises I've made that I've not been able to keep, all the times I've said I'm going to do so many videos, I'm going to do so great, you guys are still you can do this, we have faith in you. So thank you for trusting me and for encouraging me. But I'm going to go take care of my kids now, and I'm going to go find something to eat for dinner, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.